Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Thanks so much. My name is Cameron Bailey. I'm the artistic director here at TIFF. I'm so pleased to see you all here tonight on day 2 of the 43rd Toronto International Film Festival. Thank you for coming. You've made an excellent choice. They're all excellent choices. But this is the night when we launch the new film by Felix van Groeningen, Beautiful Boy. Thank you so much for coming. To begin, we would like to acknowledge this land that we're on tonight. This is the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the New Credit and the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat First Nations. They've been looking after this land for thousands of years, and we thank them for sharing it with us. A reminder, there's a prize we give out at the end of the festival on the final Sunday. It's called the Grolsch People's Choice Award, and you decide who wins it. So please remember to vote. You can go online to tiff.net/vote on your phone, on your computer, on whatever device you have that connects to those interwebs, and you can vote for the films of your choice. Big thanks to VVS Films, to Amazon Studios, and Film Nation Entertainment for providing us with the film. And we're so pleased to have Felix back at the festival. He is a filmmaker who has made some remarkable work already, and I have the feeling that he is really just getting started. His features include With Friends Like These from 2007, and The Misfortunates, which was here at the festival in 2009. Some of you might have seen it. And also The Broken Circle Breakdown in 2012, which was nominated for the Best Foreign Language Academy Award. Also Belgica, which was his most recent film in 2016. You know, the film you're about to watch is based on a true story, the story of David Sheff and Nic Sheff. And I remember when I saw the film, I was reminded of what Roger Ebert said about movies and how he called them a machine for empathy. The characters you will see in this film go through some pretty tough stuff, but the filmmakers, the actors, the writers, the director, really bring you into that world, carry you along with them, and really make you empathize with these characters and put you in their shoes. And it's a remarkable achievement. Felix has come to introduce the film to you tonight, so please join me in welcoming the director of Beautiful Boy, Felix van Groeningen.
Hello. Hi. This is overwhelming. It's a big theater. I'm so happy to be here. I've been here indeed in 2009, and it was a great screening. You are a great audience, really. So thank you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for inviting this film. I'm very proud of it. It's based on 2 books actually written by David and Nic Sheff, the father and the son. So they both wrote a memoir about what they went through, about their personal experience, about how they dealt with the ups and downs of struggling with addiction. But also they also talk about the beautiful moments in life and their love for one another. Their family really believes in unconditional love, yet they have to come to terms with the fact that sorry, I lost my thread. The fact that addiction has no easy answers. The Sheffs allowed me into their lives to make this film. They we talked a lot about their experiences. Obviously there were the books, but I saw how their family dynamic worked, and it was beautiful to see how close they were. That closeness, the core of their beautiful family, is why, and the hard things they went through is why I wanted to share this story. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the movie. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Carrie Craddock. I'm the Director of Programming for the festival. We're very fortunate to have a large group, as you can see, for a Q&A this evening. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming back to the stage the Director of Beautiful Boy, Felix van Groeningen.
I'd love to call on my incredible collaborators, producer Jeremy Kleiner, producer Didi Gardner, co-writer Luke Davis, the editor of this film, Nico Leunen, and then the some members of the cast, Amy Ryan, Timothy Chalamet, Steve Carell, and joining us tonight are David and Nic Sheff.
I think appropriately, we should maybe start this by asking David and Nic what it was like for you to see not just experiences, but your life on screen. And maybe you could talk a little bit about what it was like to work with Felix and Steve and Timothy and the rest of the cast.
It was, living this was obviously traumatic. Then writing about it was traumatic again, and now this. It's, I guess, feel so lucky, obviously lucky to be here and to have my son here, but also to be, I feel so fortunate to have worked with the people here who, they made a movie out of our life that I didn't think was possible to make. And the thing that I guess is really one of the most meaningful parts to me is that so often people who become addicted are portrayed in a way that looks, I mean, we have this image of what a drug addict looks like, and we think that maybe people who are using drugs and become addicted are doing it because it's fun. And I think Felix and these amazing actors showed that that's not what was happening. It was not fun. We have our loved ones who go down that path are in pain, and I think that it was a beautiful sort of testament to the people who are suffering right now, the way that, that they created this movie.
Yeah, and I mean, I just feel so incredibly grateful. I feel like watching the movie, I mean, just on a personal level, it was just a reminder of like how incredibly like what a miracle it is, I guess, that, you know, my dad and I are able to, you know, be sitting next to each other here, and, you know, that I've been able to just, I don't know, live through all this and, you know, have this amazing life now that I have. And, you know, I just feel like there was something so incredible, like when we first met Jeremy, who was the person we first met, and then Dee Dee, and then Felix, and Steve, and Timothy, like everyone all down the line. I just feel like we all were so committed to, or they all were so committed to just telling this story in the most honest and authentic way. And I remember when we were writing our books, you know, we had all these people that said to us, you know, you can't share this story, because if you do, then, you know, people aren't going to want to talk to you, or they're going to, you know, judge you, and you know, it's going to like ruin your life to share this story. And having the books come out, you know, it was totally the opposite. Like, we just were able to have these amazing conversations with people, and be have people be so open and honest with us. And you know, we just really hope that the movie can do that on an even bigger scale. So yeah, I mean, for me, I just couldn't be more grateful for the whole process. It's been amazing. Thanks.
I'm wondering, Felix and maybe Nic, if you could talk a bit about adapting their memoirs for the screen, and what that was like for you, and how closely you worked together, or did you not feel the pressure to, you know, to tell their story, and what was that like for you?
My connection was very personal. Jumping back 20 years, I had written the screenplay of Candy, which was one of the last films Heath Ledger made, and it was based on my novel Candy, which was based on my life as a heroin addict in my 20s. All those years later, my agents gave me the books to read. It was a possibility I could pitch for this job. I read the books. They were magnificent and true and powerful. And I said to my agent, I don't think I'm going to do this. I don't want to write another film about drugs. I don't want to define myself that way. And she said, yeah, but you should take the meeting with Jeremy Kleiner, because Plan B is a really good company. And the week that, and Candy had premiered at Berlin 10 years earlier, and that week Philip Seymour Hoffman was in Berlin and for Capote. And we all had a dinner, the Candy people and the Capote people, and Heath Ledger and Philip Seymour Hoffman were at this dinner. So then jump forward to this moment, I say to my agents, I don't think I'm going to take this job, but I'm going to meet Jeremy. And about 4 days before that meeting, Philip Seymour Hoffman dies. And in Candy, I had never dealt with my relationship with my father. And the night before I went in to have the meeting with Jeremy, I got an email from my father, who never talks about emotional stuff. And he says, I suppose you know about Philip Seymour Hoffman dying. I remember you telling me the stories about dinner in Berlin all those years ago. Luke, sometimes I feel this family is so blessed. And it was one of the first times ever that my dad spoke about the thing that we never spoke about for 20 years, which was the devastation that I caused as an addict. And so then I went into the meeting thinking, okay, I'm going to meet Jeremy, and maybe that's a message that I have to write this film and deal with the father-son relationship. That's how it began for me.
Well, it was a very close collaboration. We worked on the script for many years. Luke started out. We worked closely together with Jeremy and Dee to develop it. It took numerous drafts. It was hard work. It was a lot of, I mean, the two books, the 2 points of view. It's what is unique about it, but it's also what made it hard in terms of finding the balance. But yeah, we're here.
Maybe for Jeremy and Dee Dee, if you could talk a bit about why this was an important project for you to do right now at this time.
Well, insofar as it took us 10 years, we failed to do it for this. We failed to meet that timeline, but it's an odd thing that it's emerging now at a time when the dialogue around shame and the moving past shame around addiction is a more and more prevalent thing. But yeah, Dee Dee and I read David and Nic's memoirs and thought that there was something extraordinary about them and extraordinary about doing them together. We, at a given moment in the process, we saw Felix's prior film, The Broken Circle Breakdown, nominated for a Foreign Language Academy Award, a film out of Belgium, and were totally blown away by it. And it had these qualities of being extraordinarily exuberant and also realistic, that it was full of joy and hope and possibility, but also with a sense that those things are temporary. And those qualities, and also the structural flair, the kind of audacity, felt like a really good match for this.
Yeah, I think we felt a really unusual privilege when we read both Nic's book and David's book, and it felt we care deeply about narrative. It's sort of what's driven the company for years, and the idea that this is exactly right. There are two perspectives. There are two people living this, multiple people around them. You can't do this story without telling both sides of it, and that just felt thrilling, and it felt honest, and it felt hard, but it felt like the only way to honor the hours lived was to try and endeavor to do the kaleidoscope of a whole experience, which is how they actually happen in the world and how they are endured and survived and celebrated.
I'd like to turn it to the actors on the stage. So I'm hoping maybe that Amy, Timothy, and Steve, you could each talk a little bit about how you prepared for this, very, I'm sure, difficult project and very personal project with Nic and David.
Well, first and foremost, it's the experience and the perspective of Nic that always felt most important to me. And we got dinner last night, I guess all of us, and I'm a firm believer the art takes place in the head of the audience member, and yet there was a tremendous anxiety of what Nic and David were going to think about this. I hope you guys aren't lying when you say that you like it, and you don't know, and but as far to answer your question, I guess there was a certain weight loss component to get that right and to get that accurate on screen to what the physical experience would be of somebody going through this. And but it's something I've heard Steve say a lot. It's like the immediate context was being a family member. I'm a son myself. I have an older sister. I have two wonderful, amazing, loving parents. I have great relationships with them, but I also get that independent of addiction, those relationships can be frayed, and it plays on universal, I think, themes.
Keep going. Well, first of all, when Timothy came in to audition, it was the best audition in history, really. I can't imagine anyone else playing that part. He's such a good person. He's a great guy, and we just hit it off instantly. No. He doesn't need that. But he's a really special person, and to embody all the things that he did, and to play, I'm a dad. I have a 14 and a 17-year-old, so this is all very relevant to me. And every night after we shot, I'd go home and I'd hug my kids as close as I could. And I have to say, thank you guys for being so generous and really taking a leap of faith with this. It's, you didn't know what all of these people were going to do with your story, which is so intimate and so compelling. But thank you for entrusting this group of people with your lives. It really meant a lot to us. but you know, as a dad, as a family member, I think to me, the main component with this film is that it's about love. It's about family. It's about this this dynamic between wonderful people who cherish one another, and I think that's what was important for me in the movie. That's what I was hoping it would convey.
I can't keep going after that. There's no way. You know, I agree. The same. I too am a parent. I have an 8-year-old daughter. This feels like it feels like a blessing to be a part of this story, this script, this world. I feel like sometimes I wonder, is it important being an actor? And then a script like this comes around, and I say, yeah, because maybe we will help someone else who can't quite put their finger on something or have the courage to get up and continue on or go to a meeting or keep throwing love around in their family. And if we can help share your story past your book through cinema, then it just feels like a real gift to put out in the world. And I just feel very grateful to be a part of something so beautiful. So.
I'd like to ask a bit of a joint question of Felix and Nico. We've talked a lot about the different perspectives and how telling this story from both Nick and David's perspectives was important. I'm wondering if you two could talk a bit about how you shaped the film and how you structured it in order to have that really come through.
We used Post-its. A lot of them in different colors. And then we kind of followed our gut, I guess. No, it was the hardest thing, I think, about the structure, to balance these two characters, because both of their stories are very compelling and very interesting, and you want to be with both of them all the time, but you can't. So finding the right balance to cut away, maybe at exactly the wrong moment, you know. So yeah, it was Post-its.
Yeah, and we've been so Nika and I made 6 films together, and in almost all of my other films we play a lot with time, and it's something we're passionate about, and for this film, it also felt the right way to I mean, it was part of the script, so it's not that we change everything, but we had to rebalance everything and find the poetry in it, and so yeah.
I might just add, I think Felix has played with time in a number of his films, and I think there's a relationship between time and the theme, which is, I think you have this sense in this film that, you know, time passes and you can't hold on to your memories. Time is relentless in some way, but for that reason, perhaps, and Steve hit on this, you know, it's like it is about love, and love without judgment, love, presence, love. That is a possible response to the fact that we can't really hold on to it, we don't control it. And that's maybe the best way to respond to that troubling but true existential fact.
Well, we all loved the film, I think, very much, and thank you so much for being here. Congratulations to everybody on stage for all of your work. Thank you.